Yo, and welcome to episode 17 of the Right Hand Drive Guys podcast. I'm Bobby, this is Aaron,
Yo.
and today we are going to give you our guide to Japan, which will kind of round out all of our episodes on the trip and kind of give you the cliff notes to what to do and what not to do while you're in Japan. All right, here we go. So when we're talking about what you should do, what you gotta do, like what you have to do, okay?
Must-dos.
What is your, we'll each go, right? What is your number one must do while you're in Japan beyond the completely absolute obvious?
I would say going down to Nara and seeing the deer, the wild deer in the middle of the city.
So if you want your butt pecked,
Dude,
seriously, if you need a little lift.
it's like a literal public petting zoo.
Yes, absolutely.
It's insane.
It's in a park, and I mean, you can't miss it. You'll find it. Do your research.
Right. I mean, if you take the train to Nara, like you get off and it's right, a few blocks from the train station.
Yeah, and they sell you the little food for yen or whatever.
Yeah. You start
yen.
seeing these little carts, these little food carts, and they have the little deer biscuits. And it was crazy. Just like it's right after you pass that, that's where you started seeing all the deer. And then you go to this like park, and they're everywhere, dude. And some of them are aggressive, some of them are chill.
Yes, like a few of them have like horns or antlers.
Yeah, just wear closed-toed shoes.
Yeah, for sure, because they step on you, they nudge your butt. Like they're definitely, they're like college kids. I feel like they just act like college kids.
Yeah, they're rowdy.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just like ready to go.
So if I had to pick my number one do, I would say you absolutely must give offering to a shrine in order to participate in that local spiritual culture.
Right.
I feel like that was one of the, I guess you could say, turning points of our trip, was just like connecting with that spiritual side of the Japanese culture.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, Albo brought us to the spot and showed us how. And
which we had kind of actually gone to one in Kyoto, but we like stood there like all nervous and weird, not understanding.
Right. I was like, this is cool. They're throwing the coins in the thing and clapping. Some dudes are clapping loud, and you just don't know what's going on. And then you realize, okay, that's like their ritual thing.
Right.
Which is, if you don't know, what you do is you step up to the offering box, toss the coin in, bow twice, clap your hands twice, fold your hands and make your wish, then bow again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Is it? So, it is called a wish, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, okay, word. So, yeah, I recommend, Bobby's recommendation is give an offering at the shrine. And I also recommend the deer in Nara, because that was just, especially for my wife, that was a really great experience, right? Like, we're so dragging around to do car stuff, and like we finally did something that's like just more kind of in touch with nature, even though they're kind of domesticated, I would say.
Right. It's kind of wild.
Like you could sit on the couch and watch like Simpsons or something with these deer. They're so
dude, seriously. You could probably bring one home. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I saw one in the train station.
Oh yeah, how would your dogs get along with a new deer, brother?
Dude, Brown Dog would get right along with it.
Yeah, in one way or another. So another thing that we recommend for the do is hit the vending machines.
Yeah, don't be afraid, dude. Yeah. Load up on your coins and just spend away in the vending machines for snacks, drinks, hot,
everything.
Cold. Dude, everything. And it's not like American vending machines where you got, freaking Kit Kats and Reese's and just
overly
Snickers
processed
and garbage
shit.
Stuff. Dude, no, it's actually some pretty dank drinks and coffees and
oh yeah, and
all the
at first
coffee,
it is intimidating because there's so many varietals that you can't read.
Right.
So even using Translate app, you don't know if that's light roast, dark roast, any of that.
Yeah, no, you're just kind of
going for it.
Guessing, and dude, guess away.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid, don't shy away from a little bit of mystery.
The vending machines, yeah. And so we ended up finding Aaron's new favorite drink. Go ahead, tell him about it.
Yeah, dude, the Boss Coffee.
No, the CC.
Oh no, the CC lemons. Yeah. I'm a sucker for lemon drinks. And Yeah, the CC lemons, and it said on it like 36 lemons in each. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
No, you said that. That was so funny. You said to someone, you're like, yeah, no, there's like 36 lemons in here. And they're like,
Right.
no, dude, look at this. Worth. 36 lemons
of vitamin
worth.
C. Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't actually have 36 lemons. It's just a lot of vitamin C, which on a trip like that, a lot of times you want to be packing vitamin C, vitamin D, those things that are going to help you.
It's kind of wild how many like drinks and sodas and stuff have like
actual
like vitamins and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Rather than here, it's just another flavor. Or
right. Well, it's artificially flavored,
like,
right? Here, it would be, artificially flavored there.
It's like real.
Yeah. So hit the vending machines. You'll have no hard time finding them.
Right.
So the next on our do list is absolutely do get some Wagyu.
Yes, dude.
And what are those called at the with the little grills on the table? Do you know what that's actually called?
I don't know what it's actually called.
But go there.
But there's dime a dozen.
Yeah,
everywhere.
So I would for sure go to a place with the grill and the table, because then you're in control of the preparation of your meat and stuff, which is cool.
And plus, it's just cool to see like the platters they bring out and just the.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
all they needed was sparklers on them, and we would have felt pretty much like like the shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's a good experience. Nothing like you get here.
Yeah, and it's really like, again, which if you listen to any of our previous episodes about this, it's really low contact. Like you're not sitting there waiting on your waiter or waitress.
Most of it was on the screen.
Yeah, and it would just be there within a minute. Like we would just hit beef tongue, and then boom, beef tongue was on the table.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Don't be afraid to try the beef tongue.
Yeah, try the beef tongue. Like, it really isn't bad. I don't even think it's like actually tongue. It tasted way too good to really be tongue.
Dude, who knows?
I mean, wasn't it?
Yeah, and also, one of the first restaurants we stopped at had horse meat.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, dang, this is real loud.
Also, maybe the first don't.
Yeah.
Don't always assume it's
Yeah, do not always assume, right? It's regular meat. Like use the Translate app.
Right, because it might be horse meat, because they have pictures of everything in these places.
And you see this beautiful horse, just mane, you're like feeling so bad.
You see this thing, it looks like steak too, right? And it's like all marbled out and everything. You're like, oh, dude, that looks like a dank like piece of meat. No, dude, that's the horse meat.
And it is a dang piece of meat. Just not what you were looking for.
Right.
Yeah. So hit up the meat spots, but don't hit the chains. I can't remember what was that one chain that we always joked about.
Dude, it was some.
It's so American sounding.
It was
just
Cowboy
don't go there.
something.
Yeah. But do go to the Don Quixote.
Yeah.
The Donkey Hotel.
No, the Don Quixotes, dude. They're like a Walmart on steroids.
Yeah, like, just so much stuff. So much.
The like craziest store I've ever been to in my life was that one we were at in Yokohama.
Yeah, with the grocery store in the basement.
Yeah, and it was like 4 stories tall, but like down to the basement, it was like this huge grocery store, and like we walked the entire grocery store, just like looking at all the fresh meats and like fish and like. Yeah,
it was really cool.
Taking all that in, and then like going to the snack aisle and seeing all their different snacks and like different
drinks and stuff. Yeah,
and dude, I mean, people are there just trying to do their grocery shopping, and we're just geeking out over
like drooling
the different kind of Red Bull they have or whatever it might be.
Yeah, it was really a good experience, and like you'll see brands that you haven't seen for like 10, 15 years.
Right, and then upstairs, they have like things from like clothing.
Yeah.
To like.
They got Louis Vuitton. They got all kinds of stuff. Dude, electronics, like you name it. It's all there.
It was insane. Like literally everything that.
Adult toys. Like everything. Like
dude,
wooden.
Right next to the car stuff was the adult stuff. Like I was like, what? They're just trying to get the dudes over here or something. Like they just attract them all to this area of the store.
This is where they buy all their naughty stuff. So. go to the Don Quixote, get all suited and booted. We were in the camper, obviously, so I couldn't handle that pillow, so I got a pillow at the hotel.
Right. Anything you might need that you didn't bring over, like
it's there.
It's there, and like whenever we went to leave, we needed an extra bag. That's where you found that too. So like, these places are everywhere, and they're, I don't know, they're an experience.
Yeah, and they're a little. Some of them are a little beat, a little more dirty. Depends on which one you go to, but yeah, hit them up for all of those needs. The next on our do list is find. I worded it like this. I mean, but it kind of goes blanket statement. Just find some of the meets in Tokyo that aren't necessarily like Daikoku. Like I say, find underground Tokyo meets, and I'm being very specific about that, as in the actual Tokyo underground meets.
Right. Follow them on Instagram.
Yeah. Because those are like high quality.
Right. They're like the sickest cars.
Oh yeah, like literal.
Like the one that we got like invited to was like crazy.
Yeah, like every
all the
car
cool cars
was
from,
on top of its.
It was a lot of cars from Weekfest.
Yeah.
It was like just wild.
Like my cars was one of the more basic, unmodified. Like my car did not stand out there whatsoever.
Right.
My car was like
so
grandpa's
many NSXs,
car.
dude,
Yeah.
and like RX-7s.
Yeah, and I mean
R34s.
GTRs too. Yeah, but like not a single one was not perfect stanced on perfect wheels with perfect accent. Like everything was so mint. So find if you can the actual Tokyo Underground meet. But otherwise, just try to find maybe the one that not everyone's going to, and you might have a more intimate experience.
Right.
Which actually brings us to Daikoku, which,
Right, that's the spot.
That's obvious, right? We talked
definitely
about that.
There.
Everybody talked about that, but
and you can literally squeeze that.
On your way through.
Day,
if you take the Bay Shore route anywhere, just scoop off the side and check out Daikoku.
There's going to be something there.
There absolutely will be. There was not a time
any time
of
day,
that there
any
wasn't.
day of the week.
Yeah,
it's insane.
And so, but the prime time I would say is between 6 p.m. and 9:45 to 10 p.m. That's like super prime time.
Right.
I felt like for the evening. Was about 6 to 9:45. Anytime except for one night that if we went there after 9:45, it was closed.
Right.
So
that's the only thing that sucks. It does get shut down.
Yeah, and so like Aaron said, maybe it is a good idea to hit it during the day because there still is going to be some stuff.
Right.
But maybe just a lot more tourists, cars.
Right. A lot more common people.
Yeah. So whichever you decide to do, that's one that you have to do. Next on our do list would be hit a motorsports event. I'll let you go ahead and blow on this one.
Yeah, so if you're obviously into cars, then like try to hit up a motorsports event, whether it's like a drift event, like we obviously went to the Matsuri at Abisu, and like it was sick. You get to see like a complete different side of motorsports and how Japanese people do things in that realm.
It's a wake-up call. Yeah.
Right.
You're like, dude, they have a lot less rules and regulations, at least at that event.
Yeah, and it is kind of hard to find some of these things since, like, I don't know, Japan's a small country, but it seems like it's really spread far out in some of these places, and, like, you kind of have to know word of mouth, like, about these things, but if you follow enough people on Instagram or, know these tracks and know how to look up their schedules, you can see, what time attack events going on one day or what track days going on here one day, like. And if you go to any of those, you're going to see something cool.
Right. Plus, it doesn't have to be the main event.
Right. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, And, like, on top of that, if, you have a favorite circuit on any of these video games you've been playing, like, you can go see that track in real life and, like, experience that. Even
if there, let's just say, isn't an event going on, surely there will be some, potential cars in the paddock and, the museum attached to a lot of these tracks.
Right. There's still other stuff around
to do. Yeah. So go check out an event, even if it's not some main stage event, like even if it's something little on the side with locals, just check it out because you're just going to get that whole vibe. And it's like, it's legit. It makes you feel great. Like being into Matsuri, I felt like this different feeling of just being involved in like almost like I was behind the scenes, kind of like that in my head, and like all of what we were doing just felt like behind the scenes,
right? Because we were there.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
We've always seen it on video or whatever.
Yeah. So go hit that up. And you know, we try to keep these podcasts time constraints around 30 minutes. So we could go on dues all day. We could sit here and just talk about dues, but it would be very long and you wouldn't still be listening. So our last due for today is hit your favorite shops. Like just do it. Just set aside the time and just hit those shops regardless of, as long as they're in your beaten path of where you're actually traveling. But like just hit them, because there was not a single shop that we went to that we were disappointed with.
Right.
And we even went to look for shops that weren't there anymore. What was it? The Heartbreak Kids or something?
Yeah, Kids Heart.
Kids Heart.
Yeah, that's the shop.
So we went like to find Kids Heart, and we park.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was right up, like, it wasn't up the street, but it was, like, not too far from Garage Defense.
It was, like, kind of, up the street, across and up the street. But so we decided we'd try to check out Kids Heart. And,
because it's, like, a known drift shop from back in the day, right?
Yeah, and we, like, he has it on, like, Google Earth or something, you know, and then, like, we're standing there, and we're like, dude, it should be right here.
Right.
It should be right here. What the hell?
Then, I found a magazine article where they featured the shop. And, like, the corner we were standing on, it was, like, the next lot over, you could see, like, another sign in the building next to it. But their shop had been
torn down. It was all just rubble.
It was gone, right?
Yeah,
it was like, that sucks.
But we still had no regrets spending that 10 or 15 minutes, because, like, we still went there. We still were there, you know, just because the shop wasn't there. We still experienced that space, you know, like in that sense. So it wasn't like, oh, what a huge waste of time, you know, like it was like, oh, damn, this is like a part of history right here. This is where Kids Heart was, and it's not, you know, and so we're like witnessing how, you know, some of these shops and some of these brands are turning over, and the industry is changing. So again, go ahead.
Now, I was going to say another one, you know, to that same effect was like Trial. Like that was just in between Stacked and I think Global Auto that one day, remember? And I was just like, hey, let's just stop in Trial real quick, because I saw on the maps, like it's right there on our path. Why not? And that was like a 6 stop. Like, yeah,
I didn't expect that, because I honestly hadn't heard of Trial beyond, like, you know, being mentioned in passing on like an option or something like that, you know, way back in the day. So I was like, Trial, okay.
Same here. And, you know, I like didn't know much about them. I've never really like looked into them super hard. I know they had some cool looking Recaros back in the day. Yeah. And I've obviously seen like the logo and stuff, but never really.
Yeah, the shop
was sick.
Definitely like
a bunch of cool cars in the parking lot. Like,
yeah, I mean, I would say it was top. Like if you go for like cleanliness, complete setup, like top 3 or 4 of the shops that we went to, just their whole thing. But yeah, it was cool to go there, and now like I've heard of them and I know exactly what they do now. Right. You know, so that was sweet, and that was one of the shops where we first saw some like kind of cool cars, and they had the little K truck like wrapped in Recaro stuff. Yeah. So do go check out the shops that you've always wanted to see, and then stop it at one that you didn't think of.
Right, exactly. Like, even if you don't think you might be into it, still hit it.
Right, yeah, because if we had just been like, oh, we're not into this, screw Trial, like, I'm glad I went. You got that cool deal on the little cell phone holder. Yeah, they had like a little package deal. It was like $10. It came with like 3 or 4 option stickers, a Nabori, like a Wet Sport Nabori. Yeah,
and
dude,
like,
jeez,
and I forgot what else, but a few other little knicknacks, like an HKS keychain. Like, I was like, what?
Good stuff. Yeah.
I'm like, what? How
Here
did this
I am
happen?
paying $40-something for one T-shirt. Like,
I was like, this is cool. I'll take it.
So do not, okay? Like, there are things that you don't want to do. And I mean, you could do them. You just might either A, embarrass yourself, B, waste your time, C, waste your money, right? Like, you can do these things. It's just, you probably just don't waste your time. So don't go to a Starbucks. Like if you know, like some people love Starbucks in America, some people hate it, you know, and if you love Starbucks in America, you're probably not going to love it in Japan because it's much more basic and like way less additives, way less options, way less pretty much everything.
Right.
You know, so don't go to a Starbucks. Like just find a little local coffee shop. Like that's what we ended up doing, or get your vending machine coffee. That's what I ended up doing.
Right, that's what we ended up doing most of the days is the vending machine.
Yeah, like just pounding the caffeine ones.
Right.
Those were the ones to hit. So, anyways, just don't go to places like that. Like, leave that stuff for America. Here, you do the next one. Do not have any...
expectations,
yeah,
dude. Don't have any crazy expectations, dude. Don't think you're gonna get off the airplane and you're gonna get taxied away in an R34 and like seeing, you know, whatever, just crazy stuff everywhere, because it's not really like that. It was a few. I mean, granted, yeah, you had to be in the right place at the right time, and that's all chance. But like, there's not really like a lot of crazy stuff like that.
It's all over
and
here.
Like, right. It's all over here. And, you know, and also don't have these crazy expectations of like being able to go in any place and understand these things, and don't let it like bring you down that you can't read anything or might not necessarily like understand how their processes work or whatever it might be. You know, just try to go with the flow and like enjoy the time in the moment.
Right. Yeah. Don't be this like frustrated like mess because you're like feeling in a rush.
Right.
Yeah.
Or just, you know, out of place, and, you know, and just, you're in another world.
Literally.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
it is wild. Like a way different feeling, but I never really found myself like getting too frustrated. I feel like it was just like, oh yeah, no, I'm like the silly American that like, you know, I didn't do all my research like I should have. So here I am.
Right.
And they're cool with it. They get it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
right. Just don't have any like, don't think it's not a little bit of work to have a good time.
For sure. Yeah. Like a lot of people have seen our trip and they're like, dude, you guys did amazing. How'd you shove so much in? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, dude, you're just seeing like the good parts. There was times when we got lost and each of us individually got lost at separate times, and we're so pissed. Like you can imagine if anybody out there, you know, you're in this place, you get lost, you going in circles. You're in New York City, you're driving in circles. You're pissed.
Right.
Yeah, so that was us a few different times. One time Aaron got lost and had to turn around a bunch of times.
In the RV, and I was so afraid of running over someone's, because I was on this sketchy little like one lane neighborhood thing, like right off this main road. It was, I don't know, and trying to navigate that in this RV that I'm already afraid of, like,
because we got to pay for anything.
Right. Yeah, I was just not trying to mess it up. And like every time I put it in reverse to turn around, it's like screaming this beeper, like beep, beep. Like, dude, it was a mess.
The stress.
Yeah, it's stressing me out just talking about it.
Yeah, but he shows up finally. And he is, you know, when you have a buddy and he's like pissed off because he's stressed out and like you don't even want to say a word to him. Yeah, that was him. It was just like, oh, you got lost. Okay. Anyways,
but yeah, you know, I found myself.
Yeah,
and
then
I was like, you know what? I'm in Japan. I'm gonna get lost.
Yeah, screw it.
You know?
You have to. You literally.
Like, you're gonna get
have
lost.
to.
What's 15 minutes?
So don't get stressed and don't have expectations. It's gonna be okay. If you were silly enough to book only a 4-day trip to Japan, then you deserve to get stressed because you don't have nearly enough time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. True that.
Don't buy train tickets one by one. Get your cards so that you can go ahead and just get the train cards. That way you just scan your card, or as Aaron likes to do, you can slap it on the sensor, and it's gonna just save you so much time and headache.
Right. And you just load it up. The iCoca cards or whatever it's called.
Or IC. There depends on where you're at in Japan, but yeah, there's a few different ones. Yeah.
And it was pretty easy. It's simple to use. And like whenever you go to refill it, you can select in English.
Yep.
And it was simple to reload. Like, load that thing up and go wherever you want. Like, don't worry about buying tickets.
Right. Yeah. Don't be trying to buy tickets unless you're getting, a specialized ticket, like in a special cabin or whatever.
The Shinkansen or whatever.
Yeah. Otherwise, don't worry about it. And so that brings us to kind of the next, like, don't. Like, unless you own a car there, like, or want to rent for a few days, like, just don't drive.
Yeah.
I personally would recommend skipping all that, using public transportation, because unless you own the car, like I said, but if you don't, you're paying for a rental fee.
Right.
You're paying the fuel. And the big hitter, go ahead, tell them.
Dude, the tolls.
The tolls.
Holy cow, dude.
Damn.
The tolls are insane, especially for the RV. Like, that's obviously a little bit bigger, but like even for the normal cars, dude, it's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. I'm having to eat ramen for lunch now because I'm trying to pay off these tolls.
Dude, yeah, I mean, you travel from whatever, like from Tokyo out to what was the town where we first caught the train?
Shizuoka.
Yeah, right. So that was like 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
Or 3. And dude, the tolls at the end of that was it was over $100, like easily.
It's crazy.
It's like, whoa, dude.
We're fucked.
That's great. Like, whoops.
Yeah.
Holy cow, it costs to drive over there.
That's what we're saying. Like, take that public transit.
Right. And plus, you're not having to, like, if you take public transit, you're not worried about getting lost and taking wrong highways.
Whoa. I don't know about not worried about getting lost. If you have to switch trains a bunch of times, like, to get where you want to go, like, but true, I fully agree. You're definitely not driving in circles.
Right.
You may ride to somewhere you don't want to. If you,
not a big deal though.
Yeah, but just don't drive unless you got to. Another thing that I threw in here was, like, a lot of people, it seems like, kind of get like concerned about their cell phone in Japan. So don't get a SIM, because that's like what you always hear.
Yeah.
Like, oh, get a SIM.
Oh,
like,
yeah. It's like, what?
No,
like,
dude.
No, it's 2023. You just tell Verizon. Like, we have Verizon. So
right.
Like, it's literally a thing you can click on, and it's $10 a day.
Yeah. And you just send a text to 89 whatever, and boom, you're good. And then, of course, then what happens though?
Then you run out of data. You have to pay $10 more bucks.
And you have to text Verizon. You got to text them speed.
So
we're sitting there. Anytime our phone's not working, we're just texting Verizon over and over. Speed.
Dude, yeah. Well, it sucked. The only thing that sucked about that was we were there 2 months, and like that was 2 billing cycles for me. So like my bill for 2 months was like way over.
Oh yeah.
Of the normal one, but that was nothing.
Right. It's like minor when. Yeah,
it was just like I thought I paid for it all in the first month, and then the second month.
Oh yeah, you still had some of those $10 charges. Yeah, so I mean, for 14 days, you're $140 deep. Plus, if you did any speeds,
right?
But I was tethering it to my computer, so I ended up.
Speeds.
Yeah, I was speeding pretty heavily, to say the least. So yeah, don't get a SIM. Just hit up your cell phone company and ask them. And like he said, it's 2023. Every cell phone company has an international travel plan.
Right. Just do that. Save yourself the stress,
headache,
and headache. Just
You're getting a new SIM for like maybe
no, you don't want to spend your time in Japan doing that.
I guess the only way that maybe that would be beneficial is if you did get a SIM in Japan with a Japanese phone number, then you can text other Japanese phone numbers. So that, like, maybe if you were there for business or, something like that, I could see, because now you have an in-country phone number that you can communicate on.
Right.
But if you're just traveling like us, like, don't even waste your time with that.
Don't even.
So pretty much one of our last ones is, do not forget to use your Translate app.
Yeah. That's like a cheat code. In like the most stressful situations, you like completely forget about it.
Yes, it's so true.
Dude, if you're having some sort of language barrier, dude, just do yourselves both a favor. Pull your phone out and just say it into this. Let them talk into it. It translates it for you.
And you get it.
And you get it. It might be a messed up word here or there, but like you can reply back and they'll know, like, there's at least some sort of
and you can type
dialogue.
in English and then it'll say it in Japanese, and that was like clutch because I'm like trying to ask for melatonin and they're bringing me to the pillows and all these different things, and finally I just typed it in and she's like, oh, melatonin, you know. I'm like, yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I've been saying melatonin.
Yeah. She's like, no, we don't got that. I'm like, damn. But you know, so use the Translate app, use the Google app that translates words and pictures. Like, we were using that all the time on menus, on everything. Anytime we needed to read something, we had our phone in our face, which sucked, but was great.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's
definitely a tool worth using.
Yeah.
So, like, don't be afraid to look like a ding-dong. Like, no one's going to come out and make fun of you for trying to understand what they're saying or nothing like that.
No, you're putting in effort.
Right, you're putting in effort and you want to, like, communicate, and they're not going to
frown on you.
Frown upon. It's not anything like that.
So, you know, and of course, we're for sure available to answer anyone's questions. If you have any questions, you can DM us on at RHDGUYS on Instagram. You can write comments on the episodes on YouTube, whatever. We try to keep up with it, and we'll just try to direct you in the right spot. So maybe you can meet somebody that can give you the opportunity like we got, you know. So for this episode, number 17, our do's and don'ts guide to Japan.
Yeah.
I'm Bobby. This is Aaron.
See ya.
Peace.